Hello, welcome to Brit Reviews It All. So today, I'm starting. This is my first video that I'm recording ever with this channel. I am going to be reviewing Teen Mom 2, and the episode is from season 11, episode 7, and it's called Natural Mother. So, just kind of getting back into the whole Teen Mom 2 and all of that. I hadn't been watching for years, but I came back into it and now I'm interested, so I'm going to be reviewing the episodes. So, and the camera is up here, but I'm going to be looking like straight, so if it looks weird, sorry. Okay, so episode starts out. So it says that, so it was picking up where Jade and Chloe, they were visiting Sean. So that whole scene, that was a really good scene that they showed there. I'm really interested to see what's gonna happen once he moves back home from being in the rehab facility in Texas. So you can tell that Chloe was very, very happy to see her dad, and so that's very telling that his absence, it has affected that little girl, and it's sad, but he does have to work on himself and get himself in order, to be a better person and be a good dad. And hopefully him and Jade, they will get on a good, they will be good with each other, because that is always is one of the things, is the two together when they're together. So I wrote that down. Sean, he does look really good. You can tell that he's detoxed, and hopefully he'll keep up with that. You just want to see people do good, and you hate to see them, really down like that. He has a little pep in him versus on previous seasons or previous episodes. He just, looks like he was just really down on himself and just going through it. So they, like I said, I made the note about them saying they wanted him to stay an extra 30 days. So hopefully he does stick to that and sees it through. Okay, so moving on. They come in with Leah. Her sister comes over to visit, and they're just catching up and everything. So Leah lets everybody know, where she's telling her sister, yeah, I'm working on my real estate, getting my real estate license. I'm studying for that, which is really awesome that she's doing that. I really like to see that the girls, or the ladies, that they are really not just on TV, just receiving just a Teen Mom 2 check. They are actually out here in the real world, and they are working, they are, starting businesses and doing all sorts of things. So that is really awesome to see. Really good. Let's see. And then it comes in, of course, with Leah and Jalen. That's something that's very new that they're showing everybody. So that's going to be a part of Leah's storyline. That whole dynamic, it's really good to see her happy. She genuinely looks really happy and in a good place. It's just with them two trying to figure out the long distance thing, which obviously going into even starting a relationship, they pretty much knew that was going to be something they were going to have to work around, right? Okay, moving on. Then Kail comes in. Formerly Kaylin, she wants to go by Kail. Not a problem with that. They show her in the car with all of her boys. That one of the younger ones, not the baby, but Lux, he has so much personality. All her kids does, but his is so just so out there in a good way. Just when he said, "Oh," well, she said, "Well, where did you come from?" He's like, "Oh, I came from your vagina." Like, whoa. And why at his age does he know what that is? I don't know. She seems like she's very, very much into explaining things to her children. How he knew that, I have no idea. I really don't know his actual age, but still, that was just kind of out of nowhere, and it was very unexpected. I didn't expect that to come out his mouth, but hey, moving on. Um, then she drives to her house that they're in the process of building. Now, that is a huge, she has some land and she has made plans for that land, and she is building that house, and it is, looks like it's going to be really beautiful. And it just had me questioning, like, girl, what do you do outside of Team Off too? What all businesses do you own? Because your money must be really good for you to, you've been very good with your money for you to get to the level that you're on right now. And that's really good to see. She's doing it on her own. She has 4 kids. Okay, enough said. She was going around showing, different places. This is gonna be my bedroom. This is gonna be my closet. I was like, hopefully one day I'll get there on that level. Fingers crossed. Now, fingers crossed, it will. It will. So then moving to, let me see, where Javi comes in with the whole thing at the football practice. It was like with Lincoln, because that's their child together. So it just seems like he likes to nitpick with her. Wondering if that's more so because he's still not fully over her. He's angry about the way things happened with them, so he likes to nitpick with her just to get her started. She was very, very upfront and just straight to it, very blunt about what she thought, what she was thinking. I hated that she got roped into a text war with him, because at this point it's just like, girl, just don't give him the time of day when you can tell that he's on some extraness. No response, right, until he comes correct. Okay, so let's see. Don't know if anyone even caught that, but she said something, and it was just like, are you still trying to get back with her? She's made it very clear she's not interested and she does not want you. She said that in the text, in the messages, that he also asked about when are they going to get back together, or something of that nature, and she was just like, absolutely not interested. Girl, don't go back. Let that stay there. And just with the dynamic of your relationship, you could tell that would not go well, especially with you having to deal with other children. You have 3 baby fathers. Hobby maturity wise, he wouldn't be able to handle that, just based off of what I've seen. It wouldn't go well. And let's see, so then they flash over to Ashley. They bring her in. You see her working in her salon. She's with Holly and her mom T, and they are just showing the area. Again, the girls, they are out here, they are exploring different opportunities, they're opening businesses, they're doing things with their money, and just solidifying long-term success outside of Team Mom, and that's really good to see. And then again, with the whole landlord situation with their home, they say that the landlord said they're selling the property and now they want to move, but then I recall that they said that they paid for that place a year in advance, and maybe on our end we're just kind of catching up, but maybe towards the end, they were towards the end of the lease, and they were letting them know, hey, we're not leasing this property again, we want to sell it, so y'all gonna have to move. Maybe that's what was going on, but because I was very much like, okay, well, if they paid for a year, are you refunding them their money? Must had to, right? Okay. And so Ashley, she starts to discuss with a bar about the COVID vaccine, and I thought that was some good talking points to bring up, because that was and still is a huge thing in the world, the U.S. Would you get the COVID shot? Should I get it? Why not to do it? certain family members like, no, don't do it, don't get it, you shouldn't, just pretty much decreeing, no, you better not go get it. Um, I would say pretty much it seems like Ashley and Bart, they are really, really putting in the effort to continue to work on their relationship, especially with them being married. I personally would hate for them to give up so soon. Um, you know, I can understand from her point of view. She's like, look, I'm tired. This is just not what's up, and I'm done. But she gave it some time. She really thought about it. They took the time to really work on it, and now that he has that situation with the whole um, with him going to jail and all that, now that they have some clarification on what that's going to look like, now they can focus on their relationship and really get to a good place and continue to work forward. um, Seems, just from what she said, it just seems like with Bar, she's always like, come on, Bar, come do this, come do that, you should do this, you should do that. And it's hard to try to focus on making yourself better and, thriving in life when you're trying to pull someone else with you and they're not putting any effort. Understandable. But again, they are basically said, we're gonna work on this, we're gonna stick with it, let's do it. And that's really good. I'm happy for them and their little family. So let's see. Then they flash over to Brianna's part. So she comes in and they're picking up on Stella's update with the heart monitor. So they're finally ready to put her on the heart monitor. I like that she was very much with just giving Stella the comfort, especially as her mother. Hey, it's okay, you just have to do this, explaining to her what's going on and why she has to do it, and just really comforting her through that, because that has to be something that's very like scary for a child, right? Then she goes in to say that she wants her friend to help her because Lewis's mother doesn't speak English. So she has her friend to text from her phone in Spanish, just to relate it and how she feels, and just really wanting to know, hey, why is it that all of this is going on in this little girl's life and her grandparents are not looking for her, not trying to be in her life, like know anything from their side, right? That grandmother takes back so fast. It was like, whoa, okay. So you were quick to text back, but you don't try to find a way to get in contact with your granddaughter. Huh? Okay, and then come to find out, Lewis has been telling them Brianna doesn't, that he does try to reach out to Brianna to see Stella or, just do anything with the daughter. And so he's been lying to them this whole time, because we've seen where Brianna does try to make the effort to have that bond between daughter and father, and he's very much not there. Very much not there. The whole thing about the not showing up for her appointment because he didn't want to be on camera, and not calling him just when they're filming. It shouldn't even be that. I mean, common sense would say that, okay, you were not going to be filmed. They didn't have authorization to be there. So your main concern versus worried about being filmed should have just been being there for your daughter, right? And that's something scary. You would think you would want to know what's going on. You would think you would want to be there regardless of whatever is going on around you. That was just really just a sucky excuse to use. Who does that? Anyway, I mean, he just needs to do better all the way around. He just really does. So not too long after Brianna got that text back, Lewis's Stella's grandfather, calls Brianna on her phone. Apparently he speaks English, so he was just like, let me call, because let's get some understanding. So she didn't answer because it just seemed like at that time it was just like, whoa, okay, hold on, let me process everything that just happened right now with this text message first before I call this man back and or even answer his phone call. Understandable, that's your phone. You do what you need to do with your phone or what you want to do with your phone. Okay, so they go over to Leah. She was rushing that morning and she only had Addie with her that morning. The other two, they were with their father. So you do notice that Leah, she does have that strict tone with the girls when she needs to. And good that it's great that they show like, hey, okay, it ain't all just niceness over time and I don't let the girls walk over me. She was very much like, no, ma'am, we're not doing this. I don't have time. We're running late. Get your things. Let's go. Get in the car. I'm dropping you off. I have to go take my test today. Okay. So even during the drive, she gets the call from Jalen, and he's just just consoling her like, hey, you got this, and just but she took it as, oh my god, it's added pressure. I'm getting overwhelmed. And then she realizes, you know what, I shouldn't have even filmed today because it's adding extra pressure on me right now because I'm trying to save face for the cameras and I'm trying to stay in the moment and I need to focus on what I really need to do with this real estate license, and I'm running behind. I want to be on time for my test. So she takes down the car camera. She asks Addie to take it down and cut. Okay, moving on. They go back to Sean and Jade. So at this point, they were all, sitting on the couch looking all cozy. He's rubbing on her, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess just being in the moment, those feelings and those emotions, those good feelings, and that's what she needed to sense out. Okay, how do I really feel about this man? Um, let's just go with it. Go with the moment. Don't ruin it. Don't overthink it. That's what I got from that scene. And then the counselor person, he comes in and just sits down and talks with them. Basically telling her like, hey, for the first 45 days, he was not honest with us. Just not, he wasn't really showing us what we needed to know when he first got here. So we're really recommending that he stays an additional 30 days in this program. I like that he was there and he was really in that moment and taking accountability and just very much like, no, I know I need to be here. I'm trying to do this. I want to do this. It was good to see Jade give him that extra push to say, yes, I understand why he needs to be here, and I want to see him continue to work on himself because he looks good. You can just tell everything has changed. There's a change in him. So just giving him that little extraness, that was really good. I am not gonna wear my glasses next time because that blue glare, annoying. So let's see. So we talked about that part. So that's pretty much the gist of that. So it goes over to back to Kail, flashes back over to her. She is meeting up with Javi to talk about football stuff. I don't know if I missed something. Like I said, I'm jumping back in from I haven't watched in years. So I'm jumping back in. It just like talk about what football stuff because they were looking over the football plays and things like that. And I'm just like, okay, so do they own this team or something? Is that another one of her ventures, entrepreneur ventures? Not bad. If that works for them, I think that's great. I would say as long as they can keep it separate from when they're not getting along, as long as they're able to keep that together, why not? Right? So she pretty much gets onto him about the way that he deals with her. As far as dealing with Lincoln. So the way that they parent is just totally different. And I understood from her perspective, I am a mom. I understand from her perspective and saying at his age, he's old enough to understand it's cold outside. I need my jacket. Making him accountable to make sure that he has those things. So, for her to say, hey, get your jacket, we finna get ready to go, get your jacket, let's go, we're heading out, and you walk out that door and you leave it, now you're gonna learn, let me make sure I get my jacket before we leave this house like my mama told me to, because it is cold outside, or my hat, whatever the case may be. On the other side, you have Javi, who's like, well, why didn't you have that? You should have it. But if it's just like, oh goodness. So like, she pretty much stated their parenting styles, they are totally different, and that's why those two, they butt heads. So she's just like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it in my house. Now, if you want it done a certain way, you make sure you have him an extra jacket or whatever it is in case he forgets it, since that's such a problem. So, okay, moving on. Ashley comes back in, and her and Bar, they were looking around for a new house. They show where they viewed a place, and they locked in one that they liked. Which was that's good. It just kind of like, dang, like it seems like y'all keep having to keep moving, but this is the world that's going on right now. People are selling houses. They don't want to deal with it, so they'd rather sell, for the price that they can get for it, and it's unfortunate for the renter. So she, you show them moving some of their stuff, and you will flash into the scene where they are showing them packing and unpacking, where you're showing them unpacking in the new house, and then she's in the room that's for Holly, explaining to her, hey, this is we're having to move. This is why. Are you okay? Do you like your new room? Things like that. That's how she's talking to her, and then she says, hey, also, do you understand that means you're going to have to change schools? So you're going to have to leave your friends. And Holly's response was so unexpected from the viewer, as her parents and her family members, they know her personality a lot more. But she was pretty much just kind of like, okay, I'm good. And it's like, leave it at that. If your child says she's good and she's fine, move along. Okay, so they're just, showing her decorating her new room. I thought that was really cute that they were, working together, doing mommy and daughter stuff. That's so cute. Then, so they move on and they go back to Brianna, and pretty much coming into where she's having her friend to come over and sit with her for support, as she decides to call Lewis's dad back. Don't know how many days passed before she decided to call him back. It doesn't matter. It's her choice. So she calls, and she's, on the phone. She pretty much starts to tell the dad everything. And coming from the dad's, from what she got from the dad, he pretty much did not know that. That's what had been going on. And from one of his understanding was that Lewis had been coming around and trying to be in the daughter's life. And Brianna's like, no, he has not been here. He stated that he wanted to keep her. He wanted to be a dad. After she was born, he disappeared. He has not been present. Y'all haven't been present. Why are y'all not looking for her and trying to be in her life? I am doing my part as a mother. I can only do so much on my end. It is up to y'all, if y'all want a relationship with your granddaughter, to take the necessary steps to make sure that happens. And that is very correct. So let's see. So that's pretty much that scene. And then the friend just gave her, pretty much gave her a hug. It was just like, girl, give me a hug, because that was a lot right there. And she just has a moment just to take it all in and just process everything. And that is a very tough thing to deal with. It really is. And then so they go back over to Jade. So it's time for them to go. They say their goodbyes. You could tell Chloe, she already knows that Chloe's gonna be, her attitude is about to be on 10, because she knows that we're leaving and we gotta go back home, but you're not coming with us. So, what can you do? And then so they go back to their hotel. They're just sitting around. And then Cha, if I'm saying it right, her best friend, comes in to check on him and just talk to her and just, you know, get an get an update on what was going on and see how her friends doing and everything. So that was really cool. Um, I don't know. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen with Jade and Sean's relationship once he does return home, because it's good now. But what is it gonna look like when y'all are? It's just y'all, you know. Because just from I'm seeing Jade, um, she can get very intense when she gets overwhelmed, and she just it's a lot. And then now they're going at each other, and it's not good. But I want the best for them. I really hope. I mean, they've been going through this for years, so hopefully, you know, it's gonna be a positive outcome. I really do. So then they go back over to Ashley. They're showing Bar going to work. Looks like he works for a medicinal place. Um, hey, where they live, clearly that's a thing. So I'm in Texas, so it's not really a major thing here. But as long as he's, you know, working, he's doing good. He's doing good for himself, and he's protect, you know, with his family. Then hey, there's nothing wrong with where he works or anything like that. It really isn't. And then Ashley, she's just expressing with her mom, expressing about her thoughts on opening up the salon, you know, about getting the vaccine. T is like, no, you're not getting that. But then you pretty much see where Ashley's like, listen, she gives me all the, she pretty much gives me her opinion and what I should and shouldn't do all the time. But as history has shown, I pretty much do what I'm gonna do, regardless of others' opinions or expectations, and she makes that very clear. She's gonna make the decision about if she gets that vaccine, and it will be her choice. So then we also move on to Leah. She comes back in. They show where she didn't even get to take the test. There was a technical issue going on, and they pretty much told them, hey, we're gonna have to reschedule y'all. You cannot reschedule until 3 to 5 business days. And the way I looked at it was, you pretty much just got a little bit more extra time to just take a beat, go back, study some more, and just get back to it. Of course, it's very frustrating because you were just all, you know, all over the place and overwhelmed just to get there and not even be able to take the test. So I totally understood that. Um, so they go back to Brianna and the whole Lewis and the grandparents and things like that. And the dad is saying, you know, he's sorry, he's gonna come around. The grandfather, they're gonna make that effort to do that. He's gonna go talk to Lewis, and I'm just like, well, what is he gonna talk to Lewis about? That's a grown adult at the end of the day, grown man. So I don't know how old he is, but still, you can't tell him go get your daughter. If he doesn't want to do it, it's not gonna matter. He has to want to be involved in his daughter's life, and not just to show for the camera, because regardless of whether you show up just because the cameras are there, Brianna is still gonna say, this is what's going on, this is what I asked him to do, this is what he didn't do, he said he was gonna do this, he did not. So sir, it's not really much you can do just by calling and say, hey, you better do this. But okay, anyway, I do hate that it seems like Brianna compares Devoyne's relationship with his daughter to how Lewis is, and it's like, well, you can't compare the two, unfortunately. There are two different individuals, two different children, two different everything. So you can't put that expectation on Lewis just because Devoyne's over here doing his part. And you can't put that pressure on Devoyne to always be so much into what Stella is doing unless he wants to, you know, because he does have that choice to do things with Stella as well, along with his daughter, Nova. So, but don't put that pressure or the expectation. It just seems like it seems like she always kind of somewhat does that, and that's how it comes off to me. But I mean, overall, a pretty good episode, pretty informative. I'm interested to see what's going to happen next week. You know, you just want to see all the girls do good and just continue to work and do better for themselves and for their children, and that's what all you could really hope for. So that is a wrap on that episode. I will be back for the next one. Can't wait to see what they have in store. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like my video. It is very important to do that. And I'll be back with more reviews. Bye.